The great estate of Collinwood rests on cliffs high above the sea, and on a quiet afternoon such as this, a familiar sound is the pounding of the surf, waves crashing against sand, only to return to the sea from which they came. There is a sense of timelessness here, for the sea is eternal, as human lives are not. But there are moments when a sense of timelessness can pervade a human mind, moments when the past seems to intermingle with the present. There is one who knows such a moment, not realizing that it represents an imminent threat, the approach of a violent and terrifying danger.
Miss Winters? Miss Winters!
Oh, I'm sorry, David. What did you say?
What's the matter with you?
What do you mean?
Well, you were just standing here looking out at the ocean. You didn't hear anything I said.
I guess I was daydreaming.
What about?
I'm not really sure.
You've been doing that a lot lately.
Have I? Yes, I guess I have. Well, that's a very bad habit. I should break it.
You know something, Miss Winters?
What's that?
I looked at you when you were daydreaming, and I got a funny feeling.
What kind of a feeling?
Well, a feeling that you weren't you when you're like that. That you were somebody else.
Somebody else?
That's the only way I can explain it. Like you were somebody else. Somebody else that was strange. And it frightened me.
David, are you serious?
Yes.
I frighten you?
Well, it's just that you look so strange. There was something scary about it.
Well, listen, I know that you like to imagine scary things. And you have a very active imagination, but you mustn't let it run away with you.
I'm not.
Well, then you're trying to frighten me, and that won't work.
Miss Winters?
Oh, Miss Hoffman. You remember David.
Hello, David.
Hello?
Miss Hoffman's going to be staying here for a while.
Here? Why?
Well, you know she's doing a history of the Collins family, and she's got to do some research.
I can tell you about my ancestors. I know all about them.
Oh, we must have a good long talk one day.
Okay.
Were you looking for anything?
Well, yes, I understand there are some privately printed histories of the Collins family. I wondered if I might see one.
Of course, they're in the library. I'll get them for you.
Thank you.
Are you really doing a history of our family?
I really am.
About all of us? Even me?
Well, you'll be included, but mostly it's about your ancestors.
Which ones?
Well, Jeremiah Collins, Joshua Collins, Barnabas Collins, of course.
Would you like to see some more pictures of them?
I think I've seen all the portraits of them.
Oh, no. I mean our family album. Would you like to look at it?
Yes, I would.
We'll get it.
Thank you. Oh, that's very interesting.
That's Joshua Collins.
Oh, yes, the original Barnabas Collins' father.
Right. Oh, and that's David Collins. I was named after him.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Naomi Collins.
Oh, Barnabas Collins' mother.
That's right.
She's lovely. And Barnabas Collins
Mm-hmm.
and Sarah Collins.
Wait, let me see that. Let me see it.
What?
I've never seen it before.
The picture of Sarah Collins?
No. I've never even heard of her. And I know all about my ancestors.
Oh, well, she died when she was still a child. That's probably why you've never heard of her.
It's funny.
What is?
She looks just like a kid who hangs around here.
Oh?
Yes, I play with the girls sometimes.
You do?
Up near the old house.
The old house? Oh, yes, where Barnabas Collins lives.
Yes, that's right. She must like to play there an awful lot, because that's the only place I've ever seen her.
It's curious that she should look so much like the girl in the portrait.
You know, it's funny. You want to know something else that's really funny?
What?
The girl I play with, well, her name is Sarah, too.
Is it?
Yes, it is. And isn't that funny?
Yes, it is a strange coincidence. Very strange.
Do you suppose she's a ghost?
Who?
Sarah.
I doubt it very much.
There are ghosts around here.
Yes, I've heard the legends.
They aren't legends, they're real. Do you believe in ghosts?
David, don't start that again.
We were just talking.
About your favorite subject, and I'm sure Miss Hoffman isn't interested.
No, quite the contrary. I was very interested.
Well, I wish you were as interested in your homework as you are in ghosts.
Do I have to do homework anymore today? Can't I go out and play?
All right, but I want you back by dark.
Okay.
Here are the books you wanted.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that David's not being too much of a pest.
Oh, not at all. In fact, he was quite helpful. He was showing me portraits of his ancestors.
Oh, I'll bet he was. Next to ghosts, his ancestors are his favorite subject.
We were just looking at the portrait of Sarah Collins.
That's very strange.
What is?
She looks exactly like a sketch I saw once.
But it's Sarah Collins, the original Barnabas Collins.
It was a sketch that the police brought around after Maggie Evans died, but you wouldn't know anything about that.
No.
She was a local girl that was kidnapped by a madman. The sheriff thought that the little girl might be some clue to the kidnapper. And so they brought a sketch of her up here and showed it to Mrs. Stoddard and me. Neither of us had ever seen her before.
I see.
Very, very strange that she should look so much like this portrait.
Yes.
Well, you'll have to excuse me. I've got to get ready. I have a date.
Miss Winters, I wonder if you mind answering one question before you go.
Of course not. What is it?
You were here when they were restoring the old house, weren't you?
Yes, I was very interested in the restoration.
Do you know that if it's authentic to all details?
Well, as far as I know, it is.
Because I saw an engraving once, and there were mirrors in the drawing room, huge gilt mirrors. And when I was at the old house yesterday, I don't remember seeing them. I wonder what happened to them.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing any mirrors either.
Oh? Well, maybe they were put into another room.
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I don't remember seeing any mirrors anywhere in that house, except for the little one in Josette's room.
I see. Well, maybe they've been lost.
Perhaps so.
Another question. Do you suppose Mrs. Stoddard would mind if I borrowed her album?
No, I don't think she would.
Well, I'd like to show it to Mr. Collins. I think he might be interested in portraits of his ancestors.
But I thought Mr. Collins wasn't interested in helping you with your research.
No, he wasn't interested in the book, but I think he'll be fascinated with the portraits.
I hope that he changes his mind and does decide to help you.
whether he does or not. I have a feeling this visit will be very interesting.
Julia Hoffman? I never heard of her.
Neither have I, but I'm sure she's a very good writer. She's really intelligent.
But why does she want to do a history on the Collins family?
Because they're one of the oldest families in America. I think it's a very exciting project.
Vicky, I wish you weren't involved in it.
Why?
Because I think you're getting too involved in the past.
Burke, I'm interested in the past. I think everybody can learn something from history.
All right. Be interested in history, but not in the history of the Collins family. Not in history that includes ghosts and hobgoblins. It worries me.
Well, you have nothing to worry about.
I think I have. Josette's become a reality to you. And the other night at the old house, you thought you saw a little girl standing at the top of the stairs.
All right. But I admitted that was my imagination. And that's all there was to it. I suppose it was because of the house and the seance, and 100 other things.
Well, then, why feed your imagination by getting involved in the past of the Collins family? I don't know. It's always affected you before. I'd hate to see it again.
Burke, it did happen again.
What?
The other night, I woke up and I heard a voice coming out of the dark. A little girl's voice.
A little girl?
She was singing. And I know it was real because I was wide awake. I know that. But when I lit a candle, the room was empty. I don't know what's the matter with me, Burke.
You're just too wrapped up in the legends of Collinwood.
Maybe. Why would I hear a little girl's voice? Why?
I don't know.
Maybe it was spending the night in that room.
What room?
Josette's room.
You spent the night in Josette's room? In the old house? With Willie and Barnabas there?
I had to. It was the night that storm broke, and I had no way of getting back to Collinwood.
I have a feeling you'd have been safer in the storm.
Oh, Burke. Mr. Collins is a perfect gentleman, and Willie wouldn't hurt me.
Vicky, I want you to promise me something.
What?
I want you to promise me you'll never go there again.
Never go to the old house again?
Yes.
I can't promise you that.
Why not?
I just can't, that's all.
What is this fascination you've got for the old house?
I just like going there.
Well, what do you like about it?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I feel safe.
Safe?
Uh-huh. Safe and secure. As though I belong there. I don't know why I feel that way. But I do. And I'm not going to stop going there, Burke, and that's final.
Vicky, I don't know what's happening to you, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Good evening, Mr. Collins.
Miss Hoffman.
Well, I didn't expect to see you so soon again.
I wonder if I might speak to you for a moment.
Well, I don't want to sound rude, but I can't imagine what we have to discuss.
Well, I'm not here to get information from you. I want to show you something.
But what is it?
Well, it's a family album with some portraits of your ancestors I thought you might be interested in seeing.
Why?
Well, I actually had hoped that you would tell me something about them, something I didn't already know.
You're very persistent, Miss Hoffman. I have nothing to tell you.
Then I've made the trip in vain. But since I have made the trip, why don't you let me show them to you anyway?
Come in. But I can only give you a few minutes of my time.
That'll be fine.
I assume that's the book you're talking about.
Yes. Now, here is a portrait of the original Barnabas Collins, your namesake.
So I see.
I must say the resemblance is remarkable.
It's often commented on.
And this is his mother, Naomi. Isn't she lovely?
Yes.
And on the next page, you'll find a portrait of Joshua, the father of Barnabas.
I recognize him from other portraits.
And on the next page is Sarah Collins, the sister of Barnabas.
Oh?
She's on the next page. Why don't you turn the page? She's a lovely child, isn't she?
Yes.
Look at her eyes. They're very much like yours.
Do you think so?
And her features, you really do look very much alike.
What are you doing?
Even historians have a certain amount of feminine vanity. I was just checking my makeup.
Well, I've looked at your portraits, Miss Hoffman. Is that what you wanted?
Yes, I'm sorry that you weren't very interested.
Well, I'm afraid your assumption is correct.
Then I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you very much, Mr. Collins, and good evening.
Good evening, Miss Hoffman.
Did you see Mr. Collins?
Yes. Yes, it was a very successful visit.
Was it?
Yes, I learned a great deal this evening.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes, in fact, I think I've learned everything. Everything I needed to know.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.